Everyone, and welcome to lesson 1.3, day 1. Today we are going to talk about using the midpoint formula as well as partitioning a segment. The midpoint formula allows us to find the midpoint of a segment given the two endpoints of a segment. So for instance, P and Q. And what we can do is take the two x values of P and Q, add them up and divide by 2. Same thing with the two y values, add them up, divide by 2. This will allow us to find the midpoint. So we can see this worked out example here for the first midpoint of segment AB. We take the two endpoints, x plus x, so -3 plus 4, and then we add those together, divide by 2, take the two y values, 2 and -2, add them together, divide by 2. We get this midpoint of segment AB at 1/2, 0, which makes sense if we look at it on our graph. So if we look at a couple examples here today, okay, again, we are going to start by taking our two x values of our segment C and D. So -2 plus 8, we're going to divide that by 2, and then we'll do the same thing with our two y values, 5 plus -12. Take those values, add them up, and divide by 2. Again, we are always adding and then dividing by 2. So we end up with -2 plus 8, which is 6. Divide that by 2. 5 plus -12 is -7. Divide that by 2. So our final answer is 3, -3.5. Our next example, we deal with some decimals. Again, take your two x values, add them up. So 2.5 is the x value of coordinate E. -6.2 is the x value of coordinate F. And then we do the same thing with our y's. -7 plus -3.8. And we're adding that negative, so it will turn into subtraction. So 2.5 plus -6.2, or -6.2, since we're adding a negative, is -3.7. -7 plus -3.8 is -10.8. And then we divide both of those by 2. We want to make sure we get -1.85, comma, -5.4. Try the next example on your own. Now, part 2 of today is asking, okay, if we want to partition a segment, not necessarily in the middle, but let's say, for instance, 3/5 of the way from A towards B, how can we do that? Well, first and foremost, we want to start by finding our horizontal and vertical distances. So notice our 2 points given from A at +3, -4, to B, which is at 13, 11. Horizontally, we are moving from 3 to 13, so that's a total of 10 units. And then we move from -4 to +11 for a total of 15 units. From there, what we want to do is we want to take those two values and we want to find 3/5 of that. Okay, because again, that's our total distance we originally moved. We want 3/5. So 3/5 of 10 is going to allow us to take 10 times 3/5. And again, we could do this in the calculator. 10 times 3/5 gives us 6. And then we have 15 times 3/5 for a total of 9. And then our final answer is going to come from taking those two values, in this case, +6 and +9, and adding it to our starting point, which is, in this case, A, since we went from A to B. 3 plus 6, our new point is going to be at 9, comma, -4 plus 9, 5. And again, if we look at this graph, we see that 9, 5 does lie on that point, and again looks 3/5 of the way from A towards B. Let's look at another one. So this time we are starting at point J, and we are moving towards point K, which is at -8, 4. So again, think about our segment as direction. We are going from J towards K. So notice this movement. We moved our X value wise this time. We went from +10 down to -8. That's a total of 18 units we moved to the left. So notice this negative this time. Our Y values moved from -5 up to +4. So we went up, so +9 units. Next piece, we need to take our two values and multiply them by our fractional distance we're moving, which is 2/9. So again, if we take these values, -18 times 2/9 is -4. +9 times 2/9 is 2. So we have -4 and +2 are going to be what our new movement is, only 2/9 of the way. So again, we are starting at point J, it says, and instead of moving all the way to point K, we're moving to the left 4 instead of 18, up 2 instead of up 9, for a total new point at 6, -3. Now again, that answer makes sense because again, if we check out in the picture, we can see that our point looks like it's only 2/9 of the way from point J. Now we don't always have to graph these. They are only to check your answer. Okay, so again, on this next one, try on your own how much you moved from A towards B. Again, think about how much you moved with your X values and your Y values. Find that distance and then tack that on to point A to see how much you're moving to get to your new point. Thanks everyone for watching. We will talk more about these in class.